Welcome back to the Calgary Olympic Oval Canada Cup #2, ready to resume action with the next session. And it gets underway with the men's 1,000 meters, so we got another sprint coming up. A lot of these guys you'll have just seen in the 500 meters. There are a whopping 33 pairs to go in the men's 1,000. That'll be followed up pretty quickly by the women's 1,000, where there are 21 pairs. They've flooded the ice. Skaters have gotten back out there to get back warmed up, get their body temperature back up. First pair coming up will be Antoine Roger against Christopher Fiola, two skaters out of Quebec. Roger has been up there in the 500 meters. Now it's the 1,000. Chris Fiola, yesterday in the Canadian Single Distance Championships, he skated in the 500 meters, and he put up a season best time of 35.32. That put him in 8th, and he's back today to skate the 1,000. This is the second Canada Cup of the year. First one was in Quebec City, and it is actually just one skater. It is Fiola all on his own. Roger put in a 500, and he's good for the day. Now it's Fiola with that down start. And it is 2.5 laps of this oval in Calgary. That's a quick 1,000 meters. As the first time check comes up at 200 meters, and here comes Fiola with 2 laps to go. Let's check that split, 16:74. That is the time to beat right now. So there will be 2 crossovers on that back stretch as Fiola moves into the inner lane. First full lap, let's check that lap time. It's a sprint and you want to keep your times consistent, manage that exertion of all your energy. 25.6 the lap time, 42.34. There it was, the bell lap for him. Back to the outer lane. He gets a shout of encouragement by Gregor Jelinek, the coach at the Oval in Quebec City, the Gaetan Boucher. Now inside, a couple meters to go. Fiola, he comes to the line. He'll set the time to beat 1:10.53, a lap time 28.19. Second pair coming up. It looks like it is just one man as well. Conrad Nagy out of Hungary. He just skated the 9th fastest time in the 500 meters in the Canada Cup just a few moments ago. 36.61 for Nagy. There is the gun, and we're off. Nagy gets his 2.5 laps underway. Nagy has a personal best time of 1:08.78 in the 1,000. He skated at just about a month ago, December 2nd. Nagy turns 26 years old in March. Moves into that outer lane. He skated a 17.4 through the opening 200 meters, about 0.6 off Fiola's pace. We'll see what the first lap brings, the first full lap. There is the bell as Nagy rounds the corner. Check that split time, 25.51 the lap, 42.91 overall. He's half a second back of Fiola. Some work to do in that last 400 meters. Into the inner lane. There's a little bit of pain etched on that face. Conrad Nagy coming to the line inside 50 meters. One arm going, trying to just get to the line. He reaches 1:09.90. Look at that last lap time, 26.99. He moves into the lead by 0.6 of a second. So Nagy using that last lap to make a move. He takes the lead. The 1:09.90. A little bit off his personal best, but enough right now to put him atop the leaderboard. Next pair, also all by his lonesome, Simon Coots from Manitoba. He is away cleanly. Coots finished 22nd in the 500 meters just a little bit ago. He skated a 37.55. As he gets that first time check. 17.8, it's the third fastest opening 200. Coots has a personal best, 1:13.36. He set it in March of last year, so it's almost been a year since he's set a personal best. Coots, who is 22 years old, out of Manitoba. Check that lap time coming up to get the bell. Coots skates a 26.69. He's about a second and a half back of the time set by Nagy. He's going to be chasing a personal best now. 1:13.36 is that mark. It's a long, long sprint. It's almost sort of like the 200 meters in track and field, where it's a matter of someone having a longer sprint endurance than a 100-meter runner. Coots to the line, reaches out, 1:13.10. So there you go, new personal best for Simon Coots. We've had 3 pairs with 3 individual skaters so far, which is a little unusual. This time we have 2 ready to go, Connor Woods and Antoine Gagnon-Lamarche. Gagnon-Lamarche just put up a 10th fastest time in the 500 meters. Woods was 4th.
Oh, the start.
Ordered 2 the start. Go to the start, ready, and then the gun. Woods with a 1:11.89 personal best, underway cleanly. Gagnon-Lamarche is on the outer lane. Woods is on the inner. Coming up to that 200-meter time. Woods, check that split time with the lead. 17.12 fastest, faster than Nagy, that is, rather, but Nagy really came into the race, so we'll see how well Woods can hold that sprint. Gagnon-Lamarche with a 17.63. Woods coming up to get the bell. He sets a lap time 25.93, just a 1400th of a second back of Nagy. Nagy put in a blinder on that last stretch though. Gagnon-Lamarche with a 27.14. Gagnon-Lamarche chasing a 1:19.08 personal best. Woods with a 1:11.89. So it looks like Gagnon-Lamarche might be closing in on his own personal record. Woods trying to hang on inside 50 meters, keeping those arms going. He checks the line, 1:11.46. Gagnon-Lamarche 1:15.06. So Gagnon-Lamarche personal best. Same for Connor Woods. They move into 3rd and 5th places respectively. Next up from Manitoba on the inner lane, Connor Liebzeit. And on the outer from Spain, Mr. Inigo Vidondo, pardon me.
Go, start. Red.
And they get away cleanly. They have their 2.5 laps to go. Quick little sprint for the skater on the outer lane before they have to start to make that turn. Well, coming up to get that 200-meter time. Very even race so far, just about stride for stride. And Vidondo with the fastest opening 100, or 3rd fastest rather, opening 200 meters, but he's faster than the time set by Nagy. 17.39, Liebzeit 17.61, and Vidondo's going to try to get a little bit of a draft down that backstretch as he heads into the inner lane. Vidondo, personal best, 1:11.04, 1:12.92 for Liebzeit. Check that lap time, 26.2, 26.86 for Liebzeit. A little bit off the pace set by Nagy. That time is going to be tough to beat, the 109.9. Both of these skaters would have to go well under personal bests to get it. As they make that crossover once again, Liebzeit back into the inner lane, going to try to close that gap a little bit as they make the break for home. Inigo Vidondo to the line. He hits the line 1:11.66, 1:12.84 for Liebzeit. So Liebzeit sets a personal best time as they go 4th and 5th places respectively. Tyler Hartleb from Alberta, Hubert Marcotte from Quebec are the next skaters. They're both there lined up.
Ready.
Clean start for both of them. As we mentioned, 2.5 laps. It's a long sprint. The 500 meters, you just go as hard as you can. This, you have to go as hard as you can, but just for twice as long. Let's check that 200 meter split. It's Hubert Marcotte with that red armband with a 17.67, 18.23 for Hartleb. For Marcotte, a personal best of 1:18.86. It was set in Quebec City outdoors about a month ago. So let's see what moving it indoors can do. Don't have to worry about the elements in any way. 1:14.20 is Hartleb's personal best. He just turned 20 years old. There is the bell, 600 meter mark, 26.79 the lap time for Marcotte, 27.74 for Hartleb. Marcotte maintaining his lead into the outer lane, less than 100 meters to go. The end is in sight. The finish line is there, driving to the line. Let's check Marcotte's time. He reaches 1:12.71. And so that is a new personal best by a pretty wide margin for the young man. Hartleb clocks in 1:16.28. A little bit off his best. Dawson O'Brien, Joshua Hathaway, 2 Alberta skaters on the track.
Go. The start.
And they are off and running into that turn. O'Brien, a 1:16.52 personal best. Hartleb, 1:14.20. Hathaway, pardon me. Hartleb was the previous pair as they cross over. 18.54, 18.84. Hathaway, personal best, 1:16.54. He just turned 18 in October, so some young guys with long futures ahead of them. Dawson O'Brien turned 18 in November, so similar ages. Check that first time split, pretty close between the two of them. It's O'Brien with a little advantage right now. His lap time 28.28, 28.37 for Hathaway. Both of them not far off, within a couple hundredths of each other in personal best in the 1:16s. We'll see how they can drop. There's a good draft by O'Brien as he moves into the inner lane. We'll see how much that helps him. Both skaters within about a couple tenths of each other. They round that turn. O'Brien on the inner lane moves into a bit of the lead. It looks like he will take this pair, only just though. 1:16.78, 1:16.85. So both of those skaters just a little bit off their personal best times. Pair 8 of 33 now. Hunter Hewlett of Manitoba and Hamish Black of BC.
Red.
They are away. Black, we saw skate 5,000 meters at both the Canadian single distance event 2 nights ago, and then he skated another 5,000 meters yesterday on Canada Cup. Here he is doing 1,000 meters. Clocking in split times 18-1-0, 18-3-1 Hewlett with a bit of an advantage right now. Black more tuned to a longer distance event, giving his shot at a sprint today. Black, who turns 30 years old this month. Lap times 27:39 as Black coming into this race was a little bit behind after the first split. His personal best is 1:14.79. Hewlett trying to chase him down into the inner lane and with a personal best of 1:16.36. Oh, and down goes Hewlett right into the mat. Hope he's fine. I think it's just a shake of the head. Upset at himself. Looks okay. Black lap time 29:03, crosses 1:14.73. Good enough for 8th place right now. And a new personal best for him as well by a couple hundredths of a second. And I imagine there'll be a bit of a delay now as they check to see that everyone is okay. The ice, more importantly, Hunter Hewlett. Here's a look at the replay. Just goes right over. Caught a toe, it looked like. Fortunately, the mats are there for a reason. Hewlett checking to see he's fine. I think he's fine. Just a little disappointed, but good to see he's okay. And there's the leaderboard right now. Conrad Nagy still in front. Looks like he is going to stay atop the leaderboard as there are a number of younger skaters still to come. 1:09.90, Christopher Fiola, 1:10.53, and third, Connor Woods right now, 1:11.46, just 0.2 of a second ahead of Inigo Vidondo from Spain.
And a half.
There's the whistle. Looks like we are all good to continue. Thumbs up all around to get things back underway. And it is Caleb Muller coming up from Alberta against Magne Notland from Norway. Muller, who put up a new 5,000 meter personal best a couple days ago. Yesterday, in fact. Now going at the sprint distances. They are away cleanly. Muller is on the inner lane, Notland on the outer. Muller, who just celebrated a birthday. He just turned 19 years old. And it's Notland going underneath of Nagy's opening 200 meters with a 17.23, Muller 18.07. Notland a 1:11.04 personal best, which needs to break it in order to pass Nagy. And as we remember, Nagy really grew into the race. He put in a really fast last lap to peek in underneath the time of Christopher Fiola, 26.17 the lap time, and now Notland has dipped under Nagy's time by about half a second. Muller a 27.2. Notland rounding that corner. Big exhale from him as he entered the corner, pushing to the line, both arms down. There's a grimace on the face, and he reaches 1:11.46, third fastest time, 1:13.57. So it's a new personal best for Caleb Muller there by a couple tenths of a second. couple of Alberta skaters now on the track. Frank Roth, Mark Golden.
Oh, the start.
Both cleanly away. Roth, who's a 2000, so he turns 18 in September, goes up against Golden, who will turn 20 in November. So two young guys trying to set some new fastest times here on the ice in the Calgary Olympic Oval. And look at that opening split. Negative splits. Conrad Nagy does Frank Roth with a 17.31, 18.39 for Mark Golden, about a second off that pace. Roth now, let's see if he can maintain that speed into the outer lane. He rounds the corner. Golden trying to chase him down. Almost 2 seconds difference between their personal best. There's the bell for Golden. See the lap time, 26.62. He dips behind Nagy, about a second behind. 27.91 for Golden, inside 400 meters to go. Roth trying to hang on here inside 400 meters. He'll cross over all on his own into the inner lane. Chasing personal best with every race. And he reaches to the line. Lap time 29.18. Bit of a dip there at the end, but Roth hangs on for a personal best. 1:13.11, almost into the 112s. 1:16.53 for Golden. Continuing right along, an all international battle with Josh White from New Zealand taking on Thomas Méline from France. White, who has some World Cup experience. He skated a 5,000 meters in Salt Lake City in December. They are away cleanly. First time check will come at 200 meters, and it's White who's using that inner lane to his advantage to jump out in front. Méline, a 1:14.71 personal best. 1:12.92 for White. Let's check that out. Quarter second off the pace set by Nagy. 17.65. 18.38 for Thomas Méline. White more of a distance guy. Let's see what kind of sprinting chops he's got here. Last couple hundred meters to go to get the bell lap, and now White crosses a 26.39. About a second off Nagy's pace. 27.41 by Méline. Losing touch a little bit with White. As they make the turn for home, Méline, look at that face, a grimace of pain. This long sprint really saps the energy. Both arms down for White coming to the line. He reaches 1:11.78. Méline 1:14.79. So Méline just off his personal best, but Josh White now goes underneath his new personal best for Josh White. And there is a high five from the coach. Another all Alberta battle coming up with Max Halleck on the inner lane, Adrian Hannigan on the outer. For those of you missing Leo Landry's dulcet tones, he'll be back later on this evening for the Canadian Single Distance Championships 1,500 meter race, men and women. That'll be at 5 o'clock Mountain Time, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. Halleck and Hannigan coming up to get that first time check. 200 meter split, 17.5, 17.96. Hannigan in front. Halleck 1:13.15 personal best. Hannigan a 1:13.07, so just a few hundredths separate. Look at that draft that Hannigan's getting moving into the inner lane. That'll serve him well. Little bit of a wobble, keeping it upright though. as he uses that inner lane to his advantage, breaks out a little bit of an advantage. Hannigan skates a 26.86, 26.88 from Halleck. Couple hundred separate that lap. Let's see who can maintain that speed, though, down the backstretch. Who's in a little bit more pain after a weekend of races. Closing the gap. Here comes Halleck on Hannigan. Looks like he's going to move back in front as they drive to the line. Halleck is going to take the pair. Look at that pain. He reaches 1:13.09. Hannigan 1:13.94. So both just off their personal best. In Hannigan's case, 0.02 of a second. Another Battle of Alberta coming up, as you'd expect, with a race at the Calgary Olympic Oval. Thomas Van Dyke and Jack Dybert. Good start from both of them. No problems whatsoever. Van Dyke, who turns 25 years old this year, coming up against Dybert, who turns 18 years old in July. Dybert a 1:13.79 personal best. Van Dyke a 1:15.41. Let's check that first time split. 18.02 for Van Dyke, 18.66 for Dybert. Just over 6/10 separating the two, as Van Dyke off to an early advantage, carrying it into the outer lane. On personal best alone, advantage would go to Dybert. Let's see how he comes into this race. The lap times 27.84, 28.05 for Dybert. Now it's just the maintaining speed phase of the race down that backstretch. Who can hang on the most? Let's see if Van Dyke can get a bit of a draft going in here. He's on that inner lane. Let's see if he can use it to his advantage. Van Dyke close to taking this pair. Dybert not far behind. They both drop their arms to the line, making a late surge. 1:15.61 for Van Dyke, 1:15.65 for Dybert. Good race between the two. Next up is a Battle of Ontario between Jonah Urtebise and Matthew Laxton. Just had a few Battles of Alberta. Now Ontario gets their turn with a couple skaters. They are away cleanly. Urtebise, who will turn 20 years old this year. Same for Laxton. Battle of the 1998s. Both of them in the 1:14 ranges for personal best, so very evenly matched skaters within about 2/10 of each other. First 200 meters, look at that, 200th separate them. 17.8, 17.82. Now they get up to speed, rounding that corner up to full speed on the back stretch for the first time. Urtebise with a slight advantage thanks to that inner lane, but Laxton now gets his turn to close that gap. Very important time check coming up with 1 lap to go. Still little separating these two guys. 27.23, 27.28, still just fractions of a second separating these two skaters. Very even pair. 14th and 15th fastest overall times right now. At the moment, it's Laxton out in front. Urtebise, is there a chance to get much of a draft coming down that back stretch? But he's into the inner lane. Who can keep that speed? Entering the final few meters, still just about neck and neck. The drive to the line, it's Laxton who takes it. 1:14.28, eked out just enough at the end. 1:14.66 for Urtebise, both new personal best times for these two skaters. Almost halfway there through 33 pairs of 1,000 meters here in Canada Cup number 2 at the Calgary Olympic Oval. William Soyer from Quebec in the outer lane. Sam Pollock from Alberta on the inner lane. Pollock wearing the Calgary Oval skin suit. Soye all in black with a little bit of blue trim. Pollock turns 22 years old in June. It's Soye off to an early advantage through 200 meters. Time check there, 17.78, 18.67 for Pollock. Soye, a personal best of 1:19.84. I believe he's going to, early indication is he's going to shatter that right now on this fast ice. He set his personal best a month ago in Quebec City. It's a young skater going faster all the time. Here comes the second time check. Soye, look at the lap time, 27.25, 27.85 for Pollock. Pollock's trying to beat a personal best of 1:15.17. So he's going to be close to his own personal best as well. Two young guys trying to go faster than they ever have before. Ignore the time of Conrad Nagy at the top. Different goals in these Canada Cups. Let's see, Soye to the line. He reaches 1:13.53, so takes off a huge chunk of time. 1:16.34 for Pollock, so a bit off of his personal best. Another all-Alberta affair coming up with Paul Coder taking on John Hrinchuk. Actually, pardon me, Hrinchuk's out of Alberta. Calling a lot of these names these last few days. At the end of the weekend, they'll earn, in my mind anyway, they'll probably keep training, but in my mind, they'll earn a bit of a break. At least for a day or two. Put the feet up. That's what I'd do anyway, but I'm not out there. Hrinchuk in front at the first time check. Look at the split, 17.67, 18.17. Coder will turn 19 years old in September. Hrinchuk is 20. Little draft down the backstretch for Hrinchuk as he moves into the inner lane. Let's check it out. 1:16.02 is Coder's personal best. Hrinchuk 1:13.70. Hrinchuk in front now at the bell. 27.53 lap time. 27.67 inside. 400 meters to go. Coder, the youngster, trying to set a new personal fastest time. They're 17th and 21st respectively at this point, with about 200 meters to go. Coder trying to chase down Hrinchuk, keeping Hrinchuk in sight, on pace for a personal best. A good race from Coder. Hrinchuk's time, 1:14.34, 1:14.84 for Coder. So into the 1:14s for Coder. Hrinchuk a little bit off his best time. Anders Johnson out of British Columbia taking on Max Brandt from Ontario. Down and away cleanly. Johnson looking for a 1:16.37 personal best. 1:15.38 for Brandt. Early days, but pretty even between these two. It's Johnson ticking the line first. 18 seconds flat. 18.19 for Brandt. 2 laps to go for these two men. Coming up to the bell, just about taking their strides in unison. A little bit faster from Brandt. He clocks in a lap time, 28.02, 28.12 goes Anders Johnson. But it's Johnson who still has a bit of an advantage overall at that point anyway. Let's see what the last crossover will bring. Brandt trying to hang on to a lead thanks to that last time through the inner lane. Looks like Brandt is going to be pouring it on late. He's going to win this pair. Check the time. 28.79 lap, 115 even, 116.19 for Johnson. Johnson, new personal best. Same with Max Brandt. So both skaters going to get a little fist pump out of that when you go faster than you ever have before. Of course, now they have a taste for it. No resting on the laurels. They want to take that race and go, okay, how do I go faster in the next one? Matej Peterson of Alberta
Ready.
in this race against Eric Orlovsky of BC. Down and away cleanly. Looks like it's going to be a very close opening 200 meters. Pretty comparable personal bests. 116.46 for Orlovsky, 116.72 for Peterson. So a couple tenths difference. Very close opening 200 meters with 18.03 and 18.18. Good draft opportunity for Peterson. Anytime you get that, you get a little bit of a rest when you feel like you're just being pulled along a little bit. Similar to road cyclists who ride in the peloton, just sort of sit comfortably in there in the draft. You do a little less work as you just get dragged along. 27.42 for Peterson, 28.43 for Orlovsky. Lots of work to do in that final 400 meters. We'll see how this can close up. Orlovsky has that inner lane. Peterson now has to hold on to his speed. The last 200 meters are where you just sort of have to gut it out. Finish line in sight. Peterson driving to the line. He'll take the pair. 1:14.62, 1:16.81 for Orlovsky. But for Peterson, that's faster than he's ever gone before by about 2 seconds. Big time jump for him. Marc-André Doyon from Quebec. Sorry, from Saskatchewan, pardon me. Against Cody Miller out of Alberta. I should just look at the skin suits because Saskatchewan is always immediately identifiable with the red, or the yellow, and the green. It's always helpful.
Ready.
Skaters off and running. Clean start. Just had one DQ due to false starts today. Very few other false starts as well. It's been a quick, brisk few delays so far. Miller clocks in with a 17.54, 18.24 for Doyon. Quick opener from Miller, 8th fastest, just 14 hundredths off Nagy's time, but Nagy really grew into the race and moved atop the leaderboard very early on. Let's see how Miller can hold that speed. And it is still Miller out in front of Doyon. Lap time 27.54, 28.57 for Doyon. So Miller in front right now, but let's see how he can hold out. The legs burn, the lactic acid kicks in, the tempo drops, and it's just a matter of keeping the arms going, trying to cross that finish line ahead of the other guy, and Miller still hanging on in front. Doyon turns 17 in June. He's closed it up a little bit. Final time, 1:15.56, 1:17.14 for Doyon. So Doyon, new personal best. Closed it up a little bit on that last lap. Now BC's Kieran Hansen going up against Garrett Gledhill from Manitoba.
To the start.
Hansen, the program they've got there in Fort St. John, British Columbia, with the indoor oval in the energetic city, the Pomeroy Sports Center. Gledhill with a personal best time, 1:14.93. Hansen, 1:17.93. Hansen is a 2003. So he only turns, he's celebrating his 15th birthday this month. The youngster skating in 1871 through 200 meters. Gledhill in 18.58. Gledhill's personal best is 1:14.93. So a youngster like Hansen, chance to chase down a skater with a faster personal best, and so far he's doing pretty well. Gledhill, the lap time, 28.64. Hansen, 28.69, just 0.05 difference. Hansen now trying to keep it together, gets both arms going, rocking a little side to side. He's obviously feeling it right now at this stage of the race. Gledhill hanging on to the advantage in the pair, but Hansen trying to come up the middle. Very good race from that young man as they drive to the line. It's going to be Gledhill by just a little bit. 1:17.48, 1:18.01. So both skaters just off personal best times. Now into pair 21 of 33. Oliver Lindenskov from Denmark and Cedric Brunet from
start.
Quebec. Both of these guys have been pretty busy over the last couple days, so fatigue is setting in a little bit. It's a clean start, though. Lindenskov with a 1:16.41 personal best. Brunet, 1:22.55, set just a couple months ago in Quebec City. So the young man in the indoor oval now. I imagine he'll go faster. It's just a matter of how fast will he go. Lindenskov is a good rabbit to chase a little bit. We'll get a good crossover there. Lindenskov quickly moving to the outer lane to try not to give Brunet too much of a draft, but now the youngster from Quebec moving into a lead with a lap to go. Let's check out the lap times. Very close. 28.37 for Brunet, 27.79 for Lindenskov. So Lindenskov coming into this race a little bit. Lindenskov, who turns 21 years old in July. Gets a nice draft there on the backstretch, moving into the inner lane as he takes the lead. And he will take this pair. Don't think there's going to be any last second drama. Lindenskov to the line, 1:15.72, new personal best for him. And Brunet, 1:16.87, so shatters his old personal best by a couple of seconds. Brad Height from Saskatchewan next to go on the inner lane. Oliver Scharf from Ontario on the outer. All quiet in the Calgary Olympic Oval as this one gets underway. It's a clean start for both of them. Height on the inner, Scharf on the outer. Scharf, who turns 19 years old in August, going up against Height, the very young man, born in 2002, so he turns 16 years old in June. 18.48 opening time, 19.56 for Height. Scharf with an early advantage. He's chasing a 1:15.6 personal best. Height 1:19.84. Everyone's on the way up in these young ages, so personal bests do come relatively frequently. As Scharf is going to hit the tape coming up. Let's check that lap time. 28.59, and Height clocks in 31.32. Scharf trying to keep that technique going. That's what keeps you through it when your legs are burning and you're brain isn't working as it's switched off due to fatigue. It's just technique and instinct as Scharf drops the hands, crosses the line, 1:16.52. A little bit off his personal best. Height comes to the line, 124.91, so he's off his personal best as well as height. Antoine Parent from Quebec and Noah Bauma of Ontario as we get into pair number 23. Making quick progress. After the women's 1,000, there'll be another break, and then we change things up with a mass start.
Ready.
Which is a completely new experience for some of these skaters. It'll be a new experience at the Olympic Games in Pyeongchang, South Korea next month. First time check, it's Bauma 18.5, Parent 19.12. Bauma, who turns 19 rather, in October, going up against Parent, who turns 18 in June. 1:17.15 is Bauma's personal best. Parent 1:25.5. So let's see if either of them can better that time. It's Bauma out to the early lead. He comes up to get the bell lap with a good couple meters in front of Parent. Let's look at the lap. 28.13, 29.82 for Parent. Let's see if Bauma can hang on here. He's on pace, looks like, for getting close to that personal best. Keeps the arms going, grits his teeth down the back stretch into the outer lane. Pained expression, look at that, grimacing as he makes his way to the line. Is Bauma personal best in his sights? A little bit of a wobble. Can he keep it in? Can he keep the speed to the line? 1:16.72, yes he can. New personal best for Bauma. 1:20.21 for Parent. He ticks under his old best by a couple tenths of a second as well. Ian Babelik and Caleb Hovey in the latest instance of the Battle of Ontario.
Start.
Both dressed only in black.
Ready.
20-year-old Hovey against Babelik, who is 17. Clean start for the two of them. 1:26.49 is Babelik's personal best. 1:16.29 is Hovey. So there's a bit of a gap in their ages and their time. So let's see if being with a faster skater can drag Babelik up to a new best time. 18.78 for Hovey in the red armband. 19.62 for Babelik with the white armband. In his analysis, Leo Landry sort of says, when you're around that first turn for the first time, that second turn in the race, but that first turn overall on a new lap, you should be up to speed in the 1,000 meters. As Hovey comes to get the bell, 28.31 lap time, 29.92 for Babelik. Maintaining the technique, as I mentioned, is the most important thing. Hovey drops the arms, Babelik does too. It's just a drive to the line inside 200 meters. It's going to be Hovey winning the pair. He comes, checks that time, 1:17.80, a little bit off his personal best. Babelik goes 1:20.82, so he goes faster than he ever has before. Pair 25 of 33 as we're moving right through everything. Conrad Nagy's 1:09.90 I think is just going to stand up. Christopher Fiola looks like he will get the second fastest time. And it's Nicholas Guliov from BC against Kevin Asso from Manitoba.
Ready.
Clean getaway off the line. Guliov, another one who trains out of the other indoor oval in Canada. up in Fort St. John, BC, tucked up in northeast British Columbia in the Peace region. It's Asso taking the first time check. 18.65, 19.45 for Guliov. Personal best for Asso, 114.21, 121.58 for Guliov. Guliov, who turns 16 years old in October, going up against Asso with a little bit more experience. He turns 32 in June, and it's Asso with the 28.66 lap time, 29.58 for Guliov. Guliov, I think you just want to keep in sight of him. Just eyeing a new personal best. I don't think there's any doubt he's going to come close today. I think he's going to beat it by a couple seconds, but my math could be wrong. Asso rounding the corner, finish line inside. He drives to the line, drops both hands down. 30.54 lap time, 117.85. And Guliov, 121.03. Just a few tenths of a second off his personal best goes Guliov. As he dropped on that last lap by a few seconds. Consistency is key in these races.
Go to the
Now
start.
it's two skaters representing other countries. Darius Shetty from Australia and Pratik Prasad from India.
Ready.
Clean start for both of these skaters. Shetty, experienced skater. He turns 34 years old this year in August. 120.57 is his 1,000-meter best time. Prasad he's celebrating his 20th birthday this month, and it's 200 separating the two. Very close opening 200 meters, 19.29, 19.31. Prasad just that little bit in front. As they come up, there's a little bit of a difficulty for Prasad, and he goes way out wide. He couldn't keep it in his lane. We'll see what the judge's decision on that, but he'll just keep skating. Don't have to worry about that until it's over. Still wants to put up a good time. 28.68 lap time, 29.44 for Shetty. Prasad just sort of couldn't hang on the corner. It's always tough to get that crossover in there when you're at full speed. Shetty trying to close the gap inside a couple hundred meters, now down into 50. It's going to be a close one. Shetty closing it a little bit. Prasad crosses 31.09 lap time, 30.96 for Shetty, 119.06 overall for Prasad takes it. 119.71 for Shetty. Actually, it's a new personal best for him. New personal best for both of them. Provided, like I said, they will have a look at the little instance crossing over into the lane. Now into pair 27 of 33. Looks like it is just one skater. There is Naim Nulov. Make that two. Zachary Lacroix from Alberta against Naim Nulov from BC. Nulov, another one of those skaters out of that indoor oval in Fort St. John.
Go to the start.
Already starting to turn out a generation of athletes who are skating on these Canada Cups. Dylan Lacroix, Zachary Lacroix, pardon me. Zachary Lacroix just turned 17 years old against Nulov, who actually turned 16 in September, so he's 15 years old. Two youngsters looking to just go faster with every single race. 18.75 opener for Lacroix, 19.54 for Nulov. problems on the crossover as Lacroix goes over the top on the outer lane into the inner. I'll give him a little boost of confidence when you know he's already in front of his counterpart in the race. There's the bell. Lacroix is going to hit the line with a 21:11 lap time. 30.69 for Newlove. Inside 400 meters to go. Lacroix is trying to break a 1:18.50 personal best. Newlove back at 1:23.59. Different objectives for these guys in these races. Both young skaters. Long, long way to go for them. And it's Lacroix who's going to come around and take this pair. It's just a matter of what time, trying to set a new fastest time. Let's have a look. Lacroix 1:19.95, a little bit off his best. 1:23.83 for Newlove, a little bit off his best time as well. And pair 28, Battle of the Prairies. Dade Meinert from Saskatchewan, AJ Seddon from Manitoba. Also a battle of two provinces with easily identifiable skin suits, as I like to talk about the green and yellow of Saskatchewan and the orange and black of Manitoba. Down and away cleanly go these two skaters, entering the turn for the first time. Meinert, an October birthday, turned 17 this year. And AJ Seddon celebrates a 16th birthday this month. We're at the point where it's always young skaters near the end of these Canada Cup. Good crossover from Seddon, gets a bit of a draft into that inner lane. 1:21.25 is Meinert's personal best. 1:20.73 is Seddon's. 400 meters to go, 29.11 lap time, 29.87 for Meinert. We'll see if they can keep it under 30 seconds. Keeping your lap times consistent is what's important. I don't know if they're able to go as fast on that lap. There will be obviously dips in time, but it's trying to keep it as consistent as possible. Seddon in the outer lane, hanging on to a lead. He's going to come to the line. It looks like he'll take this pair. Meinert's trying to close the gap a little bit. Seddon to the line. It's going to be close, but Seddon still has it. 1:20.32, new personal best. 1:20.85 for Meinert, personal best as well. Dips under 1:21 for the first time. '29 of 33, working right through these pairs. Matthew Skutchings, Dylan Kanischke, two Saskatchewan boys out there.
Go to the start. Red.
Skutchings with a personal best, 1:26.5. Kanischke 1:29.4, so two evenly matched skaters, two young guys. Skutchings turns 19 in December. Kanischke an April birthday. He will be turning 17, 1948, 1978. Skutchings with the early advantage. 2 seconds off the time set by Conrad Nagy. Not going to catch him today, but they can catch their own personal bests. Skutchings round the outer lane, coming up to the bell, indicating 400 meters to go. He drops both arms, trying to maintain that speed out of the corner. 31.7 lap time for Skutchings, 30.92 for Kanischke. 30.92. Let's see, Skutchings going to try to go over the top. He gets the right of way as the man moving into the inner lane. A little jolt, knowing he's going over the top of the competitor he's up against as he's inside 200 meters. Both of them trying to hang on, trying to push to the line for new best time. Skutchings driving to the line. Let's see what he gets. 1:22.79, 1:23.35 for Kanischke. So both a little bit off their personal best times. I see Samuel Urtubise on the outer lane. I don't see Caden Witkowski yet. Might just be another solo man on his own. That is the case, as Samuel Urtubise will navigate 1,000 meters on his own.
Ready.
And it's Urtubise on his own, away cleanly. As he comes up to 200 meters. Let's see that first time check. He's a 2001. He turned 17 in March 1924, opening 200 meters. Urtubise 1:29.29. That was set in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Set back in October of this year. Coming up to the bell on the inner lane, 400 meters to go. Urtubise, let's check his lap time. 30:27, 49:51 overall. He's on pace to go faster than he's ever done before, but let's see how much of a drop-off there is in that last lap. Drops the arms, keeping the momentum going, getting a little side to side. You can tell fatigue is setting in. Final few strides for Urtubise coming to the line. Let's look at that time. 1:21.65. There it is. New personal best for the young man. Now on the track, Rob Cunning, Max Krabben, two Alberta skaters. And it is just going to be on the outer, Max Krabben by himself. Personal best, 1:26.21. He's a 2003, so he only turns 15 years old in May. Coming up to 200 meters, let's check that split time that he gets. 19:63 for Krabben. Coming around to see head coach Mike Ireland for the first time. We'll get a few words as he goes past. Keeping it consistent as possible. Krabben only set his personal best 1:26.21 back in late December, couple days before Christmas. Let's check that time, 30.64. So he's going to try to prevent a big drop off in time. He's on pace to go faster than he has. A couple words from Ireland. Having a former world sprint champion as your coach is not too bad, if I must say. Now he comes to the line. Krabben, 1,000 meters. 32:48 lap time. New personal best for him, 1:22.75. Ticks a couple seconds off that one. Second to last pair now on the track. Dakota Ruel from BC and Robert Black from Australia.
Go.
Ruel
Red.
celebrating a 15th birthday this month. Going up against Black, who's a masters skater. Showing these youngsters how to do it. They come up pretty evenly after 200 meters. Pretty comparable personal best, 1:26.44 as Black's. Rules 1:27.01. Look at that split time. 20:75 for Ruel, 21:26 for Black. Let's check this crossover. There is a little confusion. The outer lane skater has the right of way, and there finally Ruel does tuck in there into the inner lane. Here comes the bell. Ruel coming to get it. 32:09 lap time, 32:43 for Black. Not going to be a worry about crossover here with Ruel with a bit of an advantage. Black now moves into the inner lane. Will try to close things up down the stretch. Ruel chasing a 1:27.01 personal best time. He looks like he could be on pace to getting that one. It's just a matter of managing that drop off on the final lap. Both arms going. Ruel crosses the line. 1:26.01. He does go 1:26.07, pardon me. He does go faster than he ever has before. 1:27.58 for Black. And in our final pair of the men's 1,000 meters, it is not a pair from the looks of things. It is just Jordan Stevenson out of Saskatchewan. That was planned that way. He was always going to be by himself. No other skater here to do it.
Red.
Clean start for Stevenson. Red armband, Stonier in the outer lane. He'll be turning 18 next month. 1:23.28 is his personal best time set in November. First split time coming. 21:31 goes Stevenson, as he has less than 2 laps to go now. We'll make the first crossover into the inner lane. See how he can maintain that speed. It's all about building up that speed and limiting the drop off as you just sprint as hard as you can for 2.5 laps. There's the bell. 33:37 goes Stevenson. Running time 54:68. Stevenson drops both arms, trying to carry it over, maintain that speed, just has to keep it going, keep the legs ticking over, keep the arms going. Stevenson rounding the corner. About 50 meters still to go. The finish line in sight. The last skater in the men's 1,000 meters coming up to the line. Check that time. 1:29.39, 34:71 lap time. So Stevenson off his personal best a little bit, but that will conclude the men's 1,000 meters. Next up, next races are in about 20 minutes, with the ladies' 1,000 meters coming up in about 1:05. There's the final leaderboard. Conrad Nagy of Hungary, 1:09.90. Christopher Fiola of Quebec, 1:10.53. Connor Woods of Manitoba, 1:11.46. Stay tuned. We'll be back in about 20 minutes for that women's 1,000 meters. I'll be carrying you through that, and we will take a little break now, but be back soon.